Shortly after midnight on Monday evening / Tuesday morning, however you want to define after midnight, the judge overseeing Donald Trump's lawsuit to try to stop the NSA from releasing, or National Archives, excuse me, not the NSA, the National Archives, from releasing his communications to the January 6th committee, ruled against the motion filed by Trump's lawyers earlier in the day on Monday that no, I'm not going to issue an injunction and immediately tell the National Archives they can't hand over these documents. Now, we are facing a Friday deadline, and the judge, Tanya Chutkan, says that she's going to get you your ruling by Friday, so you don't have to worry about that. But what Trump's lawyers wanted to do was have the judge go ahead and give an injunction saying you can't turn over the records before she even issued a ruling on whether or not the National Archives has to turn over the records. So the judge pointed out to them, you can't do that because there's no ruling. You can't ask for an injunction when a ruling hasn't taken place. She said, when and if I make the ruling saying that you have to turn them over, then you can file for an injunction. Then you can try to get the motion stayed to where they can't get the information. But you can't do anything before I give you the ruling, the judge explained to these people who allegedly went to law school. I mean, they should know that. And as I've repeatedly said, it's clear that Donald Trump is not picking the best lawyers. Because you know, if you've gone through law school, if you've tried a case before, you can't get the judge to make a ruling before they actually make a ruling. That's really not a thing that they do, especially when you're coming up on a deadline that's just 3 days away. I mean, come on. All right, now here's the other part of this. Trump's lawyers say that today, if they do not get the ruling today, they're going to go ahead, file an emergency appeal to try to get a superior court to go ahead and issue a ruling and try to stop the records from being released. Again, this would happen unless the judge gives the ruling today prior to the current judge giving the ruling on it, which would be a truly bizarre turn of events in what is already an incredibly bizarre lawsuit. Now, Judge Chutkan has been very good so far with this case. She's the judge who we reported on a couple days ago actually laughed at Donald Trump's lawyers' legal arguments, saying that, oh, we got some of our information from an article we saw online. And the judge literally laughed in their faces because that is such a laughable, stupid legal argument. So the judge knows what she's doing. And of course, we don't know how she's going to rule on this, but based on the news that's come out of it, we kind of know what direction this is going. The Biden administration says they're not claiming executive privilege over the documents, which Trump says he's claiming executive privilege, but he can't because he's not the executive. National Archives says they reject Trump's claim of executive privilege. They're all ready to turn these documents over. They want the committee to have these because they know legally there's nothing they can do to stop it. And of course, this also just begs the big question that we always have to ask, why in the hell is Trump so desperate to stop these records from getting out there? Is it because we now know, according to several of the rally organizers, that they were working with members of his staff to set this whole thing up? That's my big guess right now. Of course, it could just be that Donald Trump was saying horrible things, that he was behind the scenes supporting the Capitol rioters. So who knows what it is? But I think we can all agree if Trump is fighting this hard to prevent it from being released, it's probably exceptionally bad for Donald Trump.